Hey, this is Sidan, coach of the Sydney Six, bringing you the team builder for our third week of our run of the WWA's inaugural season. Uh, our third week opponent is the Toronto Roadrunners and their coach Quinn. Um, Now, last week we suffered our first loss. Uh, that was mainly my fault. I put a lot of stock in a strategy that was destined to fail. Um, Plus, I think, especially that game three, I kind of panicked. I think I got lucky. I could that I got lucky in at least claiming one game, but uh, it was easily something that I think my opponent would have overcome in the third game. So that said, hopefully we can turn this around, uh, get a win on our get a win this week, try to build up momentum again. Um, However, our opponent is currently undefeated and um, I think has kind of shown that is a very experienced doubles player. So um, I'm not sure how we're gonna deal with it. I do think I have means to um, tackle his team, but I think when it comes down to, I think experience is going to uh, the the experience is going to dictate the flow of the match. So, um, but we'll see, we'll see. So let's check out my opponent's team. So, um, looking at the full roster of my opponent's team, I could see two strategies that my opponent could go for. Um, the first one I see is Trick Room. Uh, he has a Gmax uh, Hatterene, which knows Trick Room. The other Trick Room user is Pumpkaboo, as his free 4. And he has has two really strong abusers of Trick Room. Uh, Greedent in his free 3, that is uh, a a serious threat. If I let Greedent just belly drum for free, um, I'm going to just. I think I might as well just call it game. Yeah. Greedent is just so powerful. Once he's performed belly drum, so and the fact that it has the cheek pouch ability means that he can belly drum and then get back to full health. So um, yeah, I don't want to deal with Greenland's just such a threat under Trick Room. Marrow in free 1 he has the Lola Marowak, which obviously does heaps of damage, and he just flare blitz and poltergeist, and then along with boomerang, that's basically covers my whole team, and it's extremely hard when holding that thick club. So those are like his two. So he has like a really threatening Trick Room team. He also has like Tangrowth in his free 2. That's a great redirector. Rage Powder allows to ensure that he can get off that Trick Room, but that's where I think why I don't think he's gonna go with this strategy is because Rage Powder is doesn't affect grass types, and I have there's a few things to bypass Rage Powder. One is that if you're a grass type, so I do have Rillaboom, and Rillaboom does do a lot of damage to his 2 Trick Room users, so I do see I do think that there's no reason to go with Trick Room. I mean, with the threat of that. Along with that, I mean, safety goggles is the other ways to bypass Rage Powder, and I do have a lot of Fake Out users, so Fake Out I think has a higher priority than Rage Powder, so I can just Fake Out Tangrowth, flinch it, and then have my partner deal with the Trick Room user. So I don't think this is the strategy he's going to go with. Well, to bank on. But I'm not gonna buy. I'm not gonna uh, forego it. I need to take account of him going with Trick Room because the threat. His Trick Room users, the threat of those are just too great to just ignore. The strategy I think he's most likely gonna go with is Rain, and as you can see, Tier 1 he has Polytoad, which has the Drizzle ability, so it summons Rain. Tier 3 he does have Mantine, which is a Swift Swim user, so and with the Rain boosting water type moves, he can do lots of damage. On top of that, he does have Scizor, which benefits from Rain because of the reduced damage to fire type moves. Same with Healisk. With the Dry Skin ability, it is weak to fire, so benefits from Rain. Also, it gets the like the leftover heals, plus Thunder doesn't miss, so there's all that. I mean, Tangrowth also benefits from not having the reduced damage of fire. And Alolan Persian. I mean, Alolan Persian and Thwackey are I think two good support Pokemon he has. I mean, Alolan Persian is fast. It has Parting Shot, Taunt, Foul Play, Fake Out, Icy Wind, and it can Fake Tears. I think it has a lot of support moves, and yeah, there's just a lot of these threats on my opponent's team. So going into this, I wasn't I was nervous, but I do believe that Rain was the way he was gonna go. This was the strategy he's gonna put the most stock in, and so for me, the first Pokemon I clearly knew what my first Pokemon was going to be for against this team, and so my first Pokemon is Drampa. I have Drampa with the Cloud 9 ability. If you don't know, Cloud 9 stops the weather effects. It doesn't actually stop rain. So as long as Drampa's on the field, no double damage from water, no half damage of fire type moves, no abilities that require rain can activate. So no Swift Swim, no Dry Skin. I need Drampa to basically null the effects of rain. Obviously, I went. This is Drampa's gonna be more of a support Pokemon. I just need it to live, so that rain isn't an account on the field. Hence, I went with the Guava Berry to increase its longevity. I went with Guava Berry because I have Citrus Berry on another Pokemon. And I feel that Pokemon benefit from Citrus more. But I have Hyper Voice. That's just the strongest stab move, or most reliable stab move that Drampa has. Of course, it's a spread move, so it hits both. I also have Heat Wave. That allows me to hit the more like some of his Pokemon's super effectively, particularly Scizor and Tangrowth. However, those two moves doesn't account for Alola Marowak, which, despite there being rain, I do believe he's going to bring it because the Lightning Rod ability that Alola Marowak has will draw electric moves away from Mantine. So obviously, I gotta keep in mind that my Drampa can't deal with Alola Marowak, and Alola Marowak is probably going to be a very priority target for me when battling. But otherwise, Drampa's going to be a support Pokemon, so I gave it Helping Hand. that allows whole Lucha and Incineroar to do the damage I need. Um, because I feel like they just fall short on some OHKOing some Pokemons. So the extra damage a Helping Hand provides is just invaluable. Plus any other Pokemon in my team that but it's those two Pokemon in particular. I decide to use Helping Hand. And last is Protect, that just ensures the longevity of Drampa. Um, again, if my opponent really needs the rain, he's probably going to target Drampa. So uh, reducing damage or nullifying it altogether is going to be incredibly useful. Um, yeah. Uh, and in terms of EV, um, I just went full special defense, full HP. I don't see any of his physical Pokemons really uh, that's gonna threaten Drampa too much. And if anything, I think I am bringing Incineroar, so I can reduce the damage of that. And Incineroar, I think, threatens all his physical attack users pretty well. So there's no need to invest into defense, in my opinion. So I just went with full special defense. So for my second Pokemon, as I've already stated, my second Pokemon, I'm just gonna go with Incineroar. So Incineroar, despite my opponent having a rain team, I think, when I say rain team, he only has the one rain abuser, offensive. Sorry, one offensive rain abuser, and that is Mantine. The rest, I think, are Pokemon that benefit from the rain in a defensive aspect. So, as i.e. the reduced damage in fire type moves. So, I think with the rain effect not uh, in play, obviously those fire type moves are just gonna do the regular damage. And since his team is reliant on the rain, I think there's it will, there's there's a good reason to bring Incineroar. Um, Obviously, with the dual stabs, I'm able to hit a lot of his Pokemons, or at least just about half of his team for super effective damage. Um, I also have the coverage of Drain Punch for Greedent in case he does go for Trick Room, and Persian, who can do a lot of just may not offensively threaten my team, but through support, it could really just nerf my side of the field pretty hard. So getting a move to get rid of that quickly is useful. And of course, Thunder Punch. Now I don't expect to lead with Incineroar, um, especially if I think he's gonna go with the Rain team. But uh, I do want to bring Incineroar, I think, in the back. So and there's no guarantee that Mantine and Politoed won't be off the field by then. So I need a coverage for those two. So I have Thunder Punch as the covering off. So Assault Vest just ensures that I get reduce the damage on the special side. I think his physical like his physical attack users Incineroar resists, I think. So I think he pretty much resists all his physical users. So there's no point investing in defense. So I just went with special defense with the Assault Vest. Now in terms of EV, I have 84 speed. That's to outspeed 0 speed invested Politoed and Mantine outside of Rain. Now I don't know whether he would go 0 speed investment in Mantine. He might for Politoed, but definitely he could go with 0 speed investment because I think with Swift Swim, there's no need to go as like outside of Rain. So Swift Swim, like with Swift Swim, even with 0 speed investment, he will outspeed pretty much my whole team. So there's a chance he might not invest in speed, but I doubt he's. I just have the 84 speed just in case. He's most likely going to try to speed creep in case out of range. So I do think that is possible, but the 84 at least probably speed creeps Polytoad. Now I just go with max attack, adamant nature, to make as much damage as I can. The rest just went into bulk. Yeah, that's so. I think that's a pretty simple build, to be honest. So for my actual lead, I was thinking to go with is the other Pokemon I kind of mentioned was Holucha. Um, Instead of Unburden, I'm going with a Bowl Breaker. Uh, Reason is I want to bypass. Obviously, I do think he is going to have a Lola Marowak with his Rain team, and because of that Lightning Rod ability. So Mold Breaker should bypass Lightning Rod. Now, if I remember correctly, it should bypass Lightning Rod. Now, if I'm mistaken, it does ignore the redirection. And I did check, so it should ignore the redirection, but I could be looking at just a faulty source, but I'm just gonna trust that it does ignore redirection of the Lightning Rod ability. I went with Safety Goggles just in case he goes for the Trick Room option, and I'm not affected by the Rage Powder from Tangrowth. In terms of attack, just the 2 stabs, close combat, and Brave Bird. That's just it hits about half his team for super effective damage. Um, Most importantly, it does hit one of his Trick Room users. If he goes for Punkaboo as a possible Trick Room. The other Trick Room user is covered by Iron Head. Now, obviously, if he goes for Bibiri Berry, I think obviously that's just gonna bypass. I mean, it will still live, and I do need the helping hand to even like outside of Bibiri Berry. I do need the helping hand Max Steel Spike to knock out a non G-maxed Hatterini. So if it's Bibiri Berry, I'm a little bit in trouble, but I think I can work a way around Trick Rooms. I do have Pokemons that I think can sort of function in Trick Room in the back, so Drampa being one of them, but yeah, and the last move is obviously Thunder Punch. I think obviously I want to cover for the rain option he goes for, and I mean Thunder Punch Mold Breaker is that's the reason I'm trying to avoid the Lightning Rod altogether. So yeah, so so this is probably my dedicated lead for my against my opponent. For my 4th Pokemon, I'm going for G-Max Rillaboom, and this is more I think if he's gonna go Trick Room as opposed to Rain. Again, he doesn't actually, despite having a Rain team, he doesn't have a lot of Pokemon that are Water type. He has a lot of Pokemon that benefit from the reduced fire damage, which obviously does not mean that Rillaboom actually does a lot of damage to them. But I have the Fake Out, so I can at least delay a turn at the very least and break a sash or something for the Trick Room user. I have Grassy Glide so that at least I can move first in under Trick Room. A Knockoff that's hits his other Trick Room user and hits Marowak I think for super effective damage. Now obviously under Trick Room these two Pokemon are faster, so This is probably for outside Trick Room. Uh, and Hammer Arm, I think, just covers the rest of his team the best as the fourth option. Now, I did go with Citrus Berry. I think there's a lot of I think a lot of moves that I expect to come from my opponent become goes from 2 hit KOs to 3 hit KOs with the Citrus Berry applied. So um, there and that's why I decided to go with Citrus Berry on Rillaboom. Um, now I went with 188 speed. That ensures I outspeed his base 80 Pokemon. Um, so uh, yeah, and the rest just went into attack. So yeah, attack with Adamant Nature for maximum damage, and so I went max attack with Adamant for maximum damage, and then the rest went into bulk. Um, Again, I think this is much like Incineroar. It's just a pretty simple build. Um, for my fifth Pokemon, I went with Jolteon. Obviously, if he's gonna go with the rain option, there is stock in having like another electric user. Um, I think I went with Volt Absorb from so I can at least be immune to Heliolisk's main form of damage. Uh, Otherwise, I mean, I don't see any reason to use Quick Feet. To be honest, I don't see status coming really Jolteon's way. Um, I went with Thunder, um, which is I think a risk. It's kind of risk. I'm going with Thunder because I think if Jolteon's coming in, I think Drampa is the most likely target that has been eliminated. Um, so I think at that point I want a Pokemon that can actually just abuse the rain, as opposed to um, Holouncha and Incineroar working in spite of like the in neutral weather. So um, so I have Thunder, I have Shadow Ball to cover for his two Trick Room users and Alola Marowak. Under Rain, um, I do have Weather Ball that should hit his Alola Marowak even harder than Shadow Ball does. Um, and I mean I just threw that in just because Jolteon itself doesn't have a lot of the widest coverage moves. So and then I went with Detect just so I can just probably scout up some moves that might be used against Jolteon. In terms of speed, I was never gonna outspeed any of. I'm gonna outspeed s- Mantine, even with full speed investment. I'm not gonna outspeed Mantine in under rain, so I might as well just forego it and just go with some bulk. Um, so I forego any speed. I'm gonna outspeed any other Pokemon I feel that might be used in rain. So I just went full maximum special attack with modest nature, and then the rest 220 special defense and 36 speed. I think just covers is the I found does the minimizes the most damage on the special side. I don't. It didn't matter how many EVs I put on physical side. I was just getting OHKO'd by regardless, so I didn't bother. I went with Life Orb. Um, just to maximize the amount of damage for Jolteon. And my last Pokemon is Meowstic. Now, I'm not actually putting a lot of stock in Meowstic, but in case this Drampa strategy doesn't work, I won't have a backup, and my backup is going to be a Sunny Day variant. Um, Now, obviously, with Sunny Day, I reduced the chance of obviously like there's no rain obviously, and then it reduces the damage from these water type moves. Um, have fake tears so that I can increase the damage of Jolteon. Psychic, so I'm not kind of, if Meowstic is basically left. Um, Look, in previous weeks, Meowstic was often just the last Pokemon, and that's because my opponent knows that like Meowstic's not going to do anything. So at least Psychic, I can do something. It's just the strongest reliable move Meowstic had. And I had Trick Room, just in case he does go for Trick Room, I can counter the Trick Room by reversing it. I went full special defense. Again, I see no reason um, to stock into defense. Um, yeah, so especially when I think that the he's gonna be more on the special side than physical side. And the only physical user I see him possibly using. I mean, the two physical users I see him going to be using, I mean, they both do super effective damage that it didn't matter how much defense I put into Meowstic, they was going to faint. So, that's my team. Uh, yeah, so hopefully, now, okay, so the battle for this team, or the week 3 battle should come out the same time as this video. So I am going to leave a link to the video, link to the battle in the description below. Um, now, so if you want to follow, sorry, uh, um, if you want to follow my run throughout this league, uh, you can subscribe and you can click the subscribe button. Otherwise, I do release videos at the same time each week. Um, so if so, I'll see you guys in the battle video. If not, I will see you next week. Until then, have a good day and goodbye.